Well, good morning, everyone. It's 9:30, May 21st, Thursday. I'm here at Town Hall to give all the folks in town an update with our town administrator, Jim Boudreau. Jim, would you like to start this morning and give us an update from your last address?
Thank you, Sean. A lot of stuff to update. We've had some time to start plowing through all the guidelines that the state has put out for what's opening, what's closing. One additional antibody case since Tuesday, so that's good. The social distancing, the wearing mask is working here in Scituate. Our internal numbers are, we have 100. The state has more than that, but we believe that they are attributing some of those nursing home cases to us at this point. As our count, we have 2 cases still under quarantine that are not in the nursing homes, and one of those will actually end tomorrow. So we're doing very well in getting people cleared off and keeping new people from becoming infected. So keep up the good work, Scituate. As we talked about on Tuesday, the governor has announced the first phase of the reopening of the state economy. We are in phase 1. We are now at a stay-at-home advisory as opposed to a stay-at-home mandate. Construction, manufacturing, houses of worship are already reopened. Next, starting Monday, other segments of the economy can opening. Retail for curbside pickup and delivery only. Hair salons and barbershops, car washes, and pet grooming can all open on Monday. Libraries can provide curbside pickup and delivery starting Monday. Our library will be getting back in there next week, and they will be getting ready to provide that service, but we will not be launching that on Monday. We will be launching it later on. So people can get out. They can start going back around. Beaches, the state has opened their beaches. Our beaches really don't close. We never close them. It's essentially what we've talked about. You must maintain social distancing. The guidelines say 12 feet between blankets and towels, so people have the right to transit in between. If you cannot social distance, as with everything else, you have to wear a mask. The board was clear at their last meeting. They did not want to restrict parking, so at this point we will not restrict parking at the beaches.
Can I just jump in one quick second, if you don't mind? So stickers?
Stickers, we have already started enforcing stickers.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay. However, if we find that people are overcrowding the beaches, if the beaches are over capacity, we will start implementing parking restrictions and reducing the amount of parking available. You are not allowed to play organized games on the beach. No football, no soccer, no cam gym, no spike ball, no volleyball, no frisbee. The beach barriers were removed this week. The beaches actually will not officially open until June 15th. That's when we put the lifeguards out there. That's about 2 weeks earlier than we normally do, but because no one's in school, we're going to get out there earlier. If you go to the beach this weekend, you will find the porta potties. You will find a limited number of trash receptacles. The porta potties will be cleaned on a daily basis as required by the guidelines. The guidelines also specify lidless barrels where possible. Whoever came up with that one has never dealt with seagulls before. So obviously we can't have lidless barrels. So we will have a limited number of receptacles. They will have lids. If the barrel is full, take your trash with you. Please do not leave it. That is just going to cause all kinds of issues for us. So there will be barrels out there, but if people are leaving trash around the barrels, we'll start taking the barrels out. Excuse me. It seems almost counterintuitive, but if the barrels aren't there, people take it with them. If the barrels are there, even if the barrel's full, people just leave the trash next to the barrel, and that causes problems. The beach mats, the lifeguard stands, and all the equipment pods will be in place for the June 15th opening. Because of our limited staff and behaving this weekend, those will not all be out for Memorial Day. But again, the beaches are there. You can go out and use them this weekend. Maintain your social distancing if you can't wear a mask. The guidelines are posted on our website. Athletic fields and athletic courts starting 5/25 can be used for non-contact sports only with no shared equipment. No permits will be issued for group gatherings, and users should not engage in pickup games, organized games, or tournaments. Users should sanitize their hands before and after play, not share equipment and clean down equipment when done. Avoid using other people's equipment. Work out in separate areas. If the field is crowded, wait until people come off before you go on. Do not engage in pickup games, organized games, or tournaments. Again, wash. This is going to be an enforcement issue. Based on these guidelines, if you wanted to go out and play catch with your friend, you're not supposed to because the ball is shared equipment. So I'm not sure how it's going to work, but the athletic fields will be open starting on Monday for people to go out get some exercise, work out. The athletic fields at the high school are still closed. They are a construction site. We do not have them yet. So those will not be open. The high school complex, the tennis and basketball are also going to remain closed at this point because those have been real sites of people congregating for us. So at this point, we're going to keep those closed because they have been an issue for us in the past. But the rest of the athletic fields and facilities around the town will be open. This does not apply to playgrounds. Playgrounds will remain closed until June 8th, which is the potential start of Phase 2. So the North Scituate Playground will not be open, but athletic fields, Central Field, those things, people will be able to now go out and use those. Again, maintaining social distancing. We will put that guidance up also today.
Do we have fountains or something that, I know there are these waterless hand sanitizers that everyone has, but do we have any hand washing stations at any of the places?
No, and you're not actually supposed to use shared hand washing stations outside. So people, are on their own. I always keep a small bottle of hand sanitizer in my jacket pocket. When I go someplace, I can sanitize. But
Okay.
we'll still stay. If you go play basketball, you come in, wash your hands. You go out, whatever you do, whenever you're done doing it, wash your hands. That's really the big thing. The dog park is also allowed to open next week. It will not be open on Monday. I'm not bringing someone in on overtime to unlock it. We also have to order signs for social distancing. We will be requiring masks at the dog park because in consultation with the Board of Health, with the fence, that is a confined space. So if you're at the dog park, you will be required to wear a mask. Also, the water service will remain off. It's a shared service, so we will not have that on, as that is not allowed under the guidelines. And again, the users will determine enforcement. If we see that the dog park is overcrowded, we will limit parking at the dog park. If people still cannot comply, then we'll just shut the dog park down again. So it's up to the dog owners of the park whether or not that park will remain open. But it should be open next week. We've ordered the signs. They should be in. Once we get those up, we will open the park. Widows Walk, the new POS system is up and running. The point of sale service is up and running, thanks to Ian Kelly, so people can now go online at widowswalkgolf.com and not only sign up for a tee time, but pay for that tee time remotely. The course has been crowded. It's going very well, so thank you to Ian for that. He did a great job getting that up and running in about a week's time. Finally, three more things, not all good. We do realize this is Memorial Day weekend. People like to have cookouts. People like to get together. The order on gatherings of 10 or fewer still remains in effect. So we ask people to avoid large gatherings, avoid their big cookouts, avoid their get-togethers. If you do have people over, it is still supposed to be less than 10, and you should be wearing masks and social distancing. So, I know I would love to have everybody over for a big cookout, but at this point it's just not in the cards. We ask you to stay safe and still maintain those rules and guidelines. Taxes are due June 1st. The board postponed that for a month, but property taxes are now due June 1st. That is a week from Monday. If you already paid your taxes, thank you. If you have not, you have another about 10 days to pay those taxes. We want to just let people know down at Go Green, they are in the process of hauling material off the site, so they do have some heavy equipment in there operating. We spoke to them yesterday. They're developing a safety plan with Deputy Chief Thompson to ensure that people can get in and out of there without too many problems. However, we just ask you to be aware that there is heavy equipment operating there. Be careful when you go in and look out for those trucks and stay safe in that activity while we clean it up at the same time, keeping it available to residents. If anybody has any questions, you can call the town hall, you can call the Board of Health, the town's website, scituatema.gov, or the state website, mass.gov, has all the information you could possibly want. And, finally, again, wash your hands, cover your mouth, and maintain your social distancing and stay safe. If people can maintain their discipline as we go through these phases, then more things will be open. Again, each phase is a minimum of 3 weeks long, and that phase is going to determine, the data in that phase is going to determine whether or not those phases extend out further or if we actually come back on phases. So if people can keep doing what they've been doing, then we will see the economy open a little bit more. If they don't and the numbers start going up, then we might actually go back and close the economy back down a little bit. So it's a lot of information. It's on the website, but it all comes down to stay safe, wear a mask, stay apart, social distance to the extent possible. if we keep doing that, then the numbers will stay good, and I think we'll be able to start seeing more and more phases of the economy open up.
Great, great. The only question I might have, Jim, and I think you're going to address it, you will be, having probably 3 or 4 more of these before June 15th, is when June 15th does arrive, lifeguards are on the beach, and let's say we do have some hot weather, either before or after, at what beaches can people spread out more? Traditionally, people might just stay where there's, soft sand, but are the lifeguards going to be responsible for a larger area now, like Egypt Beach?
The lifeguards will stay in the areas that
They have been.
they haven't, because that is the town's portion of the beaches. We don't have the authority to put lifeguards on what would be a private section of the beach.
Okay, and I think people will have some questions and think about that one.
The lifeguards will be where they traditionally are. I think we're going to staff up and put some extra lifeguards on. The lifeguards will be spread out more. In the past, the lifeguards sometimes tended to hang out together, but they will have to maintain their social distancing also.
Sure.
So they'll be spread out on the beach a little bit more, but we will maintain our lifeguards in those areas where we have always historically had our lifeguards, and those are the areas where they are public beach access.
And it's all weather dependent, that's.
It's all weather. Today's going to be a nice day. Tomorrow's going to be even nicer, and then I think it's going to be back to a little cool on the weekend.
Right.
So from a beach perspective, I don't think we'll have a lot of crowds maybe on the weekend, but we will definitely, I think, see a lot of people at the beach tomorrow. It's going to almost be 80. So go to the beach, enjoy the beach. I think the town has been correct in what we've been doing in that we haven't closed these things down. We've let people enjoy them. You're on your best behavior. If you can keep doing it,
Do the right thing.
then we can let you keep using it. And Scituate has been great about it. Again, I check the beaches when the weather's nice. We did have the issue out at the lighthouse. And people were social distancing. There were just too many people there to social distance. So we closed down a little bit of the parking lot. And I think people, when they saw the parking lot closed, I just think it reinforced, okay, we need to stay apart or else they're going to close more of this or close it down completely. So, we live here, we live down here where we live because of the beaches, because of the natural amenities and all that stuff. I think the board has been very strong about making sure people can access those and use those, because it's real important that you get out. I mean, I get the same cabin fever that everybody else gets. So we want you to get out, we want you to walk, we want you to enjoy the parks, the playgrounds, the conservation area, and the beaches. We just want to make sure that you're doing it safely.
Right, exactly. That's been the tone all along, and I think everyone's doing a very good job from what I've seen. Do you want to talk about Memorial Day weekend, or would you like me to?
You can address that, Sean, if you like.
All right. Well, as I understand it, our Veterans Agent, Donald Knapp, will certainly recognize all the veterans at the grave sites by putting flags on every grave on Cudworth, as long as it.
Any veteran's grave in town, they'll get flags up.
All right. Obviously, the parade will not take place, but that doesn't mean those men and women aren't in our thoughts, certainly this weekend, like every other day of the year. Those of you that might have flags that you can raise and lower, some people, most of them are fixed, but those ones that you do have flags that can be lowered, I guess the protocol is to have those at half-mast until noon on Memorial Day, raise them up to full height after 12 o'clock.
Raise them briskly to the top afternoon, that's correct.
Okay. The Veterans Agent and Advisory Group will put together a video tribute that will be broadcast on Channel 9 over the weekend. And finally, it has to do with, helping our local economy. And I'm not one who's on, not an IT person, that's for sure. But there are some movements that are going to try to help the local merchants here. And that is Scituate Loves Local is live on Facebook and Instagram. Please follow to learn how to support the local businesses and learn about upcoming virtual events. The website's under construction, but will soon have the current links to all the businesses in town. All boards and committee chairs received a letter about this effort and are encouraged to contact the group about ways to help our community reopen. And I've said it for 20 years. There's no better example of our merchants like Halloween comes to mind right off the top of my head. I mean, they're always, this town is so special in many ways, and that's just one example. Now they need us. So, before you call up Amazon or something like that, see if think for a second if you can get it local, and I just think that's, especially now, is huge. Finally, the Chamber of Commerce is putting together a series of webinars to help the local businesses through this transition. Please visit the website and the Scituate Loves Local pages for more information.
Yeah, we are working closely with them. The Board of Health is working closely with both those groups to provide them with assistance, to provide them with the guidance that we're getting from the state. I know the board is very interested in doing what we can. I know as an association, the Mass Municipal Association, we have been asking the state about relaxing the guidelines on approving outdoor seating for restaurants.
Right.
Currently, if a restaurant that has a liquor license wants to have outdoor seating, it requires a public hearing before the Board of Selectmen, notice in the newspaper, it requires to go to the ABCC for approval. Looking at what we think are going to be the guidelines for when restaurants reopen, outside seating is going to be something that's going to be very popular, very preferred option. So the MMA has been working to have the state give us a much easier path where a Board of Selectmen can just approve that outside seating for a limited time to help some of these businesses. So we're working on that and just trying to work with the businesses from the town's point of view to see what we can do to make sure when they can reopen that we're not putting roadblocks in their way that are unnecessary.
Thank you so much. That's perfect. Even if I was still on the board after that time, even if it means encroaching onto town property without sacrificing public safety. You know, I know there are certain merchants, certain sidewalks the town might own, but if it can be done safely, I'm sure that's...
Yeah, I mean, the board is we're gonna look at a
Case by
bunch
case.
of different things. We'll look at ways that we can help everybody, and then we'll look at individual cases.
Great.
On how we can help them. But we've had some ideas. I know Karen is very active in this group. But part of it's going to be what do they think they need? I don't want to tell a restaurant owner, here's what we're going to do for you.
Yeah.
I want to have a conversation with him saying, geez, this would really help me out, and then find a way to see if we can do that. They've been fantastic. I mean, the restaurants have been fantastic. They're providing meals to people. They're providing meals to nursing homes, to nurses, to people. So they're a big part of this community, and we need to try to help those merchants, restaurants and otherwise, when they open up again. We have some ideas. The Chamber's talking about it, but I think the board has signaled and said we will be as supportive as we can to get these local businesses back up and running as quickly as possible. So Sean's right. If you can, most of the businesses have websites. You can order things online, and they can come out and deliver it starting next week. So if you can shop local, shop local.
Very well put. Thank you, Jim, and I hope everyone stays safe. Have a nice day. Thank you.